card is about to start. The prelims to look out for on this card. I'll also just give my predictions for the main card. So we've got Binny versus Edie. I'm just going to go with Edie here. Don't really know too much about either guys, but I think I'll go with Edie here. But yeah, it should be a good fight there. They've been doing a lot of promotion for Binny, so I'd imagine he's from like the Gold Coast. I think that's where this card is. Doesn't even say. Yeah, Gold Coast. Yeah, so it's in the Gold Coast. And then we got Dob versus Stoddart. Gonna take Dob here. You know, Stoddart's good. Obviously, he lost his first pro fight, but that was against Darcy Vendy. You know, Darcy Vendy's the last man to beat Jack Della Maddalena in mixed martial arts. So, you know, not a bad loss to have by any means, but I do think uh, Sam Dodd will get this one done. You know, he lost a split decision to Nick Kipu, which, you know, it was a split decision. It was a close fight. Then he knocked out Zach Hansford, knocked out Tapari Rakani, and then he got his revenge against Nick Kipu. So yeah, you know, he's redeemed his one loss, and then he had a pretty good amateur career as well. He was 3-1, so yeah, not a bad career. I think he'll get this one done against Alfred Stoddart. But you know, you never know in fights like this. It's always yeah, it's expect the unexpected with these like more inexperienced guys. But I do think Sam Dobb will win this fight. And then the fight I'm most excited for on this card, it's uh, Brogan Stewart versus George Mangos. I'm going with George Mangos here. I'm really hyped on this guy. I think this guy's a really good prospect. Now, touch wood, I might just jinx him and he could lose, but I rate him really highly. You know, he's got a pretty good amateur career. He's got an 8 combined wins in professional and amateur MMA. And that win against Aaron McConnell is really impressive in my opinion. You know, Aaron McConnell has a win on the amateurs over Tom Nolan, who's now in the UFC. You know, obviously different Tom Nolan at the time. You know, that was Tom Nolan at featherweight, killing himself to make that weight class. He was also 18 years old. So obviously there's a lot of asterisks around that win. But Aaron McConnell, very good. Had a Golden Gloves background, big amateur boxing background, very good hands. And George Mangos just went out there, dropped him, and then got the submission. And he made it look really easy. Obviously, McConnell was off for a while, but still, I rate Mangos really highly. I think this guy's got really high potential. And yeah, I think he's going to beat Brogan Stewart. You know, he had a pretty competitive fight his last time around. It was actually a draw against Josh Grove. I can't exactly remember, but I think I remember thinking Josh Grove might have won, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, this guy's pretty hyped up. He's got a Muay Thai background. He fought on a one Friday fight night, a one Friday fights. I don't know if that is. I'm pretty sure that is yeah, that is under the one banner. So yeah, he did fight under the one banner for his second fight, but yeah, still he's still undefeated. But I do think George Mangos is going to get this one done, and he's one to keep your eye on. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes on George Mangos, in my opinion. And then we got Kobe Porter versus Jordan Thomas. I'm going to be taking George Thomas. I'm trying to remember. So he lost to Don Fan. Was that wasn't Fan's last fight, was it? So that okay, his last fight was against Fan. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna take Kobe Porter in this. You know, he beat Nam Stevens in his last fight. Nam Stevens not a bad fighter by any means. And a loss to Michael Stanoff's not too bad either. Stanoff very active, you know, 3-2, but he's just been very active. He fights quite often. And yeah, I'm gonna take Kobe Porter here. I think he's gonna get this one done as an underdog against Jordan Thomas. He showed a lot in that Nam Stevens fight, to beat Nam Stevens pretty dominantly as well, and then get a finish is pretty good. Nam Stevens not a bad fighter at all. His only other two losses for Nam Stevens are Tom Nolan and Quillan Sauerkraut. Both two guys I think will. I mean, Tom Nolan's already in the UFC, and then Quillan Sauerkraut, someone I think will get to the UFC soon, maybe after his next fight. And then on the card we have. I have to double check. So I know the Compton fight's off. So then yeah, we have Marfan. So we have Don Marfan versus Jimmy O'Brien, the dog. I am an enjoyer of the dog. James O'Brien. He's a fun fighter, real fun, real fun style. He's a brawler. He's always out there. He's always in dogfights. He beat Darcy Vendy, the man who beat Jack Della Molina, but then he lost to Kevin Doucette, which is not a bad loss. Kevin Doucette, lost to Jack Della Molina and Caleb Breithout, not bad losses. And then obviously now Kevin Doucette's in the UFC. And then obviously he also lost to Ty Duncan, not a bad loss either. Ty Duncan's not like a horrible fighter. One of his losses is to Jack Della Molina himself. And then he lost to Nam Stevens, who Nam Stevens not bad. He's obviously his record's 3-3, but that doesn't really tell the whole story. He's fighting the absolute killers of the Australian scene. But in this fight, I'm going to be taking Don Marfan though. I just think his grappling heavy style can really help him here. I think he can actually submit or get a ground and pound finish here against the dog. But still, it's a tough fight. Jimmy O'Brien's always going to give you a tough fight, but I do think Don Marfan's going to win this. And then we got the main event, which is Ben Johnston versus Yuan Seo Shin. I'm taking Ben Johnston in this fight. I think this fight, I'm not going to say it's a gimme. It is the regionals, but I do think he gets this one done pretty easily. Yuan Seo Shin, 19 years old, very young, been KO'd. He's been KO'd, lost 2 amateur fights, beat a 1-2 guys last fight. Ben Johnston, on the other hand, beat 1-0 guy, 3-2. Had a loss to Caleb Breithout, which isn't a bad loss by any means. Caleb Breithout beat Kevin Doucette, which is a really good win. And Caleb Breithout is a really good fighter himself. Obviously injured after that Josie Luciano fight, but I do think Caleb Breithout will be back, and I think he'll eventually get to the UFC. He's a fun fighter, and yeah, he just caught Ben Johnston with like a spinning elbow. Not something that's going to catch most people. Just an unorthodox guy to deal with. But yeah, Ben Johnston, I think he'll get this one done. Trains at a CKB, I believe. Has a very long Muay Thai career as well. And I just think he'll be able to get a finish here against Yun Seo Shin. But it should be a fun fight. But yeah, I like Ben Johnston here. And then he'll move to 4-1 with this. And as a middleweight, and with that CKB connection, you could probably see this guy in the UFC in a couple more fights. Just knowing how CKB operate, they always seem to get these guys in. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see Ben Johnston mixing up in the UFC before long. Especially the UFC, you always need middleweights, and the guy's not bad. So yeah, but yeah, that's just my quick predictions. Obviously, I didn't do the prelim fights or anything like that, but yeah, I'll do a reaction to this card when it's finished. But yeah, I gotta do my other videos. I gotta do my locks now. So yeah, I just thought I'd get this video out before the card starts. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my locks video. Thank you.